Hello, this is Michael Garcia and this is my persuasive speech. Here's a joke for you that I think you might like. Does anyone else have a plastic bag full of plastic bags or is just me? Today I will introduce to you for the 4 benefits that comes from recycling. Recycling is the process of turning old used materials into new ones. I'm qualified to be talking about this because I've been recycling since I was 9 years old. At first it was to make a couple bucks, but then it became a daily routine. I was also taught about recycling in middle school by taking a whole course on recycling. We would watch many videos and we would even volunteer as a class to help clean a park. These are 4 main points in the speech that deals with recycling. The first main point is that recycling prevents pollution. The second main point is that recycling reduces the amount of waste sent to landfills. The third main point is that recycling conserves natural resources such as water. And the final point is that recycling helps create jobs in the recycling and manufacturing industries in the US. Let's get started. Recycling prevents pollution. People mix lots of trash each day. Recycling helps prevent pollution because it takes some solid waste products and changes them into new products. Most products release waste into air pollutes within the environment. According to University of Central Oklahoma, when manufacturers use recycling paper, they cut air pollution by 70% and water pollution by 35%. Recycled steel reduces 97% of the mining waste produced through the manufacturing of virgin resources and cuts back 86% of air pollution and 76% of water pollution. Using recycled glass, decreasing mining waste by 80% and air pollution by 20%. Any air pollution from incinerated items is also eliminated when recycling. According to Zach Winter in a New York Times article, Tackling the Plastic Problem, One City at a Time, he states that plastic is practically an invasive species. It's clogging the ocean, littering the cities, and taunting wilderness areas that are supposed to be pristine. Not only is it affecting our community, but the outside of our community is also being affected, such as the ocean, where it is bringing harm of many animals living in the ocean. The ocean is in serious trouble. Now that I've told you about recycling preventing pollution, I will now discuss how recycling reduces the amount of waste sent to landfills. Our landfill site is not the best place to be in. One of the health environmental issues that is caused is that toxins are being released. There are many different materials that end up in landfills which contain toxins and eventually seeps into soil and groundwater. When trash is buried into landfills, water contaminations can occur. When these toxins are released, such as mercury, it possesses a major health risk. Inhaling this can harm our kidney and cause respiratory failure. Landfill waste possess a huge problem as an economic and environmental impact, and secondly, due to slow decomposition rate, which takes thousands of years, several acres of land has already been virtually rendered useless that could have been actually used for setting up of residential colonies or industry. Recycling keeps garbage out of the landfills. Waste causes various forms of pollution, from land to water pollution to block from drains caused by littering. According to a chart from Conference Board of Canada, multiple waste general per capita 2011, our most recent year, shows that the United States is the highest and is about 700 kg. Many of these countries struggle to deal with their waste problem, with poor management even lead to climate change and accelerate the depletion of forests and mines. Waste is reduced as a number of ways in result of recycling. With this reduction of the item being sent to landfills, there will be less landfills that are needed, which means less toxins will be released into the atmosphere. In addition to this, let's take a look at the third reason why. Recycling conserves natural resources, which is water. Water conservation encompasses how to reduce the usage of fresh water. Industry uses a large amount of water with the production of apparel, home furnishing, electronics, plastics, and paper. In the United States, close to 5% of all water consumption is used to fill industries and also used for the production of many material goods. When making one rag, it takes 17 gallons of water. Not only for the machine, but for the maintenance of health of the plants is used to make material. About 100 gallons of water is used to grow and process a single pound of cotton. To put this in perspective, the average American goes through 35 pounds of new cotton materials each year. That's roughly 3,500 gallons of water just for the use of cotton. The amount of water does not include plastic, metal, paper, glass, batteries, or electronics. The water required to create the laptop you're using could wash nearly 70 loads of laundry in standard machines. Recycling and buying recycled goods is one of the best ways to conserve water. Most people does not consider recycling paper as a mean of conserving water, but by recycling 1 pound of paper you can conserve roughly 3.5 gallons of water. On average, $1 worth of paper consumes about 6 gallons of water. Chemicals used in the manufacturing contributes water pollution, especially if the water that contains is not being tested properly or treated before it's released into the environment. The final reason is that recycling helps create jobs and recycling manufacturing industries in the U.S. According to an article, Recycling New Jobs Creation by Rick Limpick, he states that according to ISRI, the U.S. scrap industry generates over 150,000 direct jobs and 323,000 indirect jobs in 2015. According to REI, in the U.S. recycling industry employ 1.25 million people, whereas the U.S. solid waste management industries use only 0.25 million people. The REI study says there are no more than 56,000 reuse recycling establishments in the U.S. REI also states that on average, the recycling industry pays higher average wages than the solid waste management industry. You see that not only does recycling help the environment, but it also helps the economy with providing multiple jobs. It gives people a higher opportunity in finding a job. To wrap up, recycling is something important, and we should contribute it every day in order to keep our environment safe. Recycling has its positive benefits towards our environment, which can be very helpful. Here's a quote by Neil Labou. We live in a disposable society. It's easier to throw things out than to fix them. We even give it a name. We call it recycling. Thank you for listening to my persuasive speech on recycling. I am Michael Garcia.